Okay, morning guys. Let me know if I'm coming through and we'll get up and racing. What do I want to get up first? Here we go. Morning Jason, how are you mate? Okay, sounds all right. Let's get going. So, mouse has disappeared again. Come on mouse, where are you going? Awesome. Sorry, I think my mouse might have just conked out. There we go. All right, so overnight, it looks like the markets are supported. They went reverted back to the old ways, as in selling everything but tech. And tech was buying. Dow was down from the open. Supported S&P was supported purely by a few tech stocks, Amazon, Tesla, and what was the other one? Google, I think. Which they did pretty well. And you can see that the S&P was sort of range bound and such, a bit of selling into the close, but all in all, it ended slightly higher. Nasdaq was up, and Dow was obviously down 200 or so points. I think 223. So yeah, same old story. It looks like sort of in holding pattern. Okay, it's a bit blurry. Is it? Is it? It could be to do with the Google site. So you might have to go down. I think get this right. I think it's the bottom right hand corner there to be displayed. Just get it to the output. Okay, just bear with me a second. I'll try and get it up here, Jason. Show you. Bottom right hand corner is a little spinning wheel settings. Quality go to 720. Hey, Bobby, Nick, Gino, how are you guys? That's more than likely it, mate. I think it's just a YouTube thing, your settings. Anyway, we'll keep plugging away. So, yeah, that was pretty much the moves overnight. Crude actually was down, which is, along with the US dollar, which it didn't find any support from the US dollar. Now, it's interesting reading um, the companies that they're highly indebted. All the energy sector, your oil and gas and stuff are highly indebted. So they're getting smacked with revenues and cost cuts and all that. So capital expenditures dropped, all that sort of stuff. So the actual energy sector itself is in a bit of turmoil. They need higher prices, and that might be, if demand can't pick up and oil's not showing that demand is going to pick up because they do keep doing production cuts to support price, which is doing okay. But eventually, if there's still going to be problems with demand, which seems to be showing with the move down in oil, along with the US dollar moving down, um, yeah, we could get lower prices. Copper, we were speaking about that, linked to the US dollar, that charged higher. US dollar is heading south, just above 92. I don't know where it is roughly now. It's at 92.18, so it's still hovering around there. Um, Obviously, anything linked like the currencies pushed higher. You got your pound, Aussie, and all that pushed higher with the US dollar. So it's still that US dollar move. Gold didn't move much, really, to be honest. It didn't do too much with that move down in with the US dollar. So I think we're still sitting around waiting for stimulus. I think stimulus is just the thing that's keeping the US dollar weighed down. I don't see why they're talking up inflation. They're going to keep rates down for longer. That's fine, but that was factored in. I believe that was factored into the market. It's not like it was something new coming into the announcement. They hinted at it quite a bit uh, for the US dollar. So it's not really that. I think it's a momentum play. Why would anything change direction? It will continue in the path of least resistance, which is down at this stage, until something changes, until they get some sort of stimulus. So it may be that the US dollar could be in for a collapse. That's what the concerning thing. It's right down in support. Anyone that's sort of bullish off that level is thinking, oh, we're going to hold, is going to be quick to bail if that's the case. And we could get a stronger move down, which is going to support the Aussie, Euro, gold, all that sort of stuff, and commodities essentially. So it could do well for us, but we'll see. Let's just get over to the intraday stuff. So, firstly, what I might try, anyone that's on our Discord channel and looking at the intraday stuff, I might try a bit of a chat. I think on Discord, there's a channel that I can talk on. So if you can find that and join that, that'd be great. I've got to learn how to work it first. Now yeah, so I'll check into that, but I think it's Braden's Lair voice channel, if you can get into that. So here it is, and I should be able to talk onto that. I'm just wondering if I could show my screen too, share screen. That would be interesting. So if I can get that working, it might be easier than typing the whole time. I might be able to explain through some intraday stuff that I'm looking at, what I'm looking for and all that sort of stuff. But we'll see how it goes. Yep, still live, still going. So here, we're looking at the intraday stuff on. This is we'll go Nikkei, which opened down. So we're looking at potentially this level holding 23,015. You can see that push up was a bit stronger than what we expected. It gapped up and kept going, pushed up and failed off this resistance level at 23,416, which is at more of a longer term level. That's after a big flush down. So that big flush down come when the Prime Minister, was it Abe, resigned. So it's a bit of turmoil, but it bounced back just as quick. Okay, so whether this is going to hold this inside high or low for a break of 23,416, I don't know just yet. It's not playing each way yet. So 23,169 is sort of the key. If we can get that pop up there and we pull back and start sticking to high or low, that's what we'll be looking for. That'd be nice. Break through and then pull back and retest and hold. Otherwise, you just be wary that you're not going to buy on the break and it pulls back and you get trapped with a move down. It's just a flush out. Okay, so they're the sort of scenarios we're looking for. If it's going to break, you want to see the first pullback. Is it continually be supported? And then we're in on the lower time frame charts. This is the 30-minute chart, don't forget. Let's just go to the lower time frame. Just going to go to the 5-minute, have a quick look at it. So yeah, big flush at that level, open down. We'll just see if that can support, or we're just going to fail here and start to hold a lower high. MAs are down. That longer term MA is starting to flatten out, which suggests lower prices, but we'll see. Dow, I'm expecting just to lift off this level just because that's what it does. Coming to the open, it's always buoyed in a thin market by the looks of it. 28,357 is sort of that level. It flushed it out and held above it. So we could just back and fill back to 28,502, which we'll be looking at. But that level is just the key to this move down. It's only a little move down off the highs. And longer term, we're still in that uptrend, you can see. So it could be a prime area which is going to hold something like this, chop around, flush, and then start to hold the higher level. But it's still got some work to do if it's going to happen. And you can see back then, we're roughly bouncing off that longer term MA. And then we had to retest the MA and took off. Whereas now we're below. So don't get caught up thinking it's just bullish. You want to see evidence. If we get a higher low to work into, great. But always also bear in mind, if we start to get too high, it could just be, we had one move up, your secondary move up to bring in a few buyers, and that turns around and squeeze them out the downside move. So that's the play. If we start to hold under, we get this sort of push up and we hold below 28,502, then I'm looking for a break of 28,357 and try to trade off the shoulder on the downside. Hang Seng, we had the day session chopped around here and then got poleaxed overnight. So once it opened back up at 3, I think it was just a selling frenzy and it continued to head south. So I wasn't on board for that. I wasn't watching it at that stage. But yeah, you can see that moved back off 25,855 and it's cleaned up all these longs through here. And basically here too, it's retesting this zone at around 955? This is the inside level. It's only an inside level, so don't get too concerned about it. That's if we start to lift, we might lift and hold. Sorry, this is the anchor to the downtrend at 22.5. If it starts to hold that, we're looking for a shoulder off that level. If it starts just caving in, then we're looking for a move down to 24,663. But again, we'll just wait and see that open at 11.15. Now the SPY it's just opening, so it's we've got an inside level at 59.88. Doesn't look too convincing at the moment. The key level is not 59.48. Now if that breaks, we got some downside move. The ASX 200 itself looks fairly weak on the daily. Sorry, not on the daily, on a 30-minute. That to me looks like a prime shoulder. So it's this zone through here that's holding up 60.60. If it starts to break down through there, which it's going to on the open because we're expecting to open about 60 points lower. Now, that doesn't mean just because the SPY heads south on the open, head south overnight, that we're going to open 60 point. We might open 30, 20. It might not even open lower. We don't know, but that's the heads up of what we're expecting. So some pressure on the open is what we're expecting, which would take us through that 60, potentially down to 6,000 back into this zone here. So we might get, push down, and then we start to back and fill. Back and fill meaning we just grind our way back up as bargain hunters start to step in. But I think this is starting to look a bit heavy to me, a bit weighted, a bit heavy. It doesn't mean we got still this level really at around 59, just below 59, this inside level on the ASX. Oh God, don't anyone get a Bluetooth keyboard. It just keeps stopping. So it's about to go in the bin through the window if it's not careful. But constantly I can't get a mouse. There we go. Mouse is working fine through the USB, but the keypad for some reason just does not like it. It's a fancy one. I thought it was fancy. Not fancy enough by the looks of it. So that to me could be getting heavy. I mean, this is the inside level. You've got pop up, pull back, held, grind its way back up to these highs again, fell over, held, grind its way back up to the highs, rejected at 262 quite a few times. So that rejection there is not looking too, I'm not looking too confident with that. It's just this inside zone, potentially around 59.50. If it starts to break through there and trades to 59, we could be in for a bit of a sell-off, but we'll see. So that's those major indices. SPY's, yeah, not doing too much in the open. It's not too flash at all, which doesn't suggest that it wants to squeeze out these shorts. We might be setting and everyone thinking, yeah, we're going to sell off. It turns around and just starts to lap up any selling pressure, and then bang, we start a bit of a rally off these lows. Let's get into dollar. So the dollar is the same old story. That's a VIX. Go back to the dollar. It's that level. It's, I'm not looking too confident that's going to hold. Go back to the daily. It's starting to press lower, which, it does open up a good move down to 88 or below 89 at least, below 90. So that's a decent sell-off, and that's going to have some, some serious flow-on effects to you got your currencies and all that, your gold. Gold is not too flash at the moment. Longer-term daily is, we've contracted in. You can see contracting is still holding, looking pretty good. So I'd be looking for, on the daily, I want to see if we can get a pullback and see if that kind of action plays out, because then that would, especially on a daily, when you get some serious moves back up to the highs at 2072, there could be a good little run in it. And that's enough. We've had a good move up there with that sudden spike down where all the bulls, anyone late is squeezed out, which happens time and time again, but then it's getting supported again. Down at 1864, then again higher at about 1910, it got supported again. So that's a good sign. You can see the MA starting to curve up. So if we start to put in a bit of work here and hold, I think we're going to go up, and that would play well into a weaker US dollar. Anything else? We've got the currencies. Not much has moved there. That euro is it's all again linked to the US dollar. So if the US dollar pushes down, we're smacking higher. And that potentially is a nice little consolidation of that high. We've had a good run up, consolidation of this high. And take note of that when you move from low to high and you consolidate around that high. We've always talked about the top 30% of a move up or the bottom 30% of a move down. If it's a strong move down and it consolidates around that bottom third, then it's suggesting we've got some really, there's going to be another strong move down and reverse on the upside. If you pop up like this and consolidate around that top third of this move, then that opens up another strong move. So you wouldn't suggest once it starts to push up, that's going to stall. That kind of consolidation around those highs in the top third generally leads to another good move up, which we've seen there. So whether this is consolidation, I don't feel like it is, because it's kind of minor. Take it out. This move up took out this high. This move up potentially is going to take out this high. Minor high and lows. That's just a bit of a flag, and we can drop. All right, especially around this level. Otherwise, if it's going to open up, it's got a move up to 124 from 119. It's another 400-500 pips from here. And that, again, like I said, if that US dollar sinks, that's where we're going on the euro. And the Aussie is looking good. I mean, not much to say there. You've got commodities, weaker US dollars looking to lead to some good commodity prices. You can see that in copper. I'm not following, obviously, iron ore and all that, but I'm figuring based in US dollars, if they're held in US dollars, they're going up. So that's leading a good little rally into the commodity index, but the commodity currency into the Aussie dollar. This level here, although it's right there now, it's not a major level. You've got this grind lower, it's just a pop up, grind lower. It's not a key level. The key level's right up here. So if we start to really get ahead of steam and continue, and that US dollar moves, we're looking back up to above 80 cents. So all in all, that's what seems to be lining up at the moment. But don't forget, if suckers, um, they tend to set up, trap traders, a dollar pushing down, trapping, and then spiking. I mean, we don't know just yet. But what you ideally want to see with moves like that is a good move up, and what happens on the first pullback, if it gets supported and it's a shallow pullback, then you want to go long. And on the US dollar, if it starts to push down and that first pullback is looking shallow, then it's going to start accelerating to the downside, and that means everything else linked to it is going to accelerate too. All right, might just probably call it a day there, guys. Have I missed anything? I've probably missed a few questions, have I? No, all good. So any questions? If anyone wants the Discord channel, if you don't even know we're on there, you don't know what we're doing there, feel free to send an email to support@tradesetup.com.au, and I'll send you across the link to join into Discord. And look, bit by bit, I'm trying to expand on that intraday index trading, mainly the big four that we always talk about. And a lot of it's just based around the Hang Seng, because the Hang Seng gets some really good moves. So I think we'll just talk about planning, levels, what we're expecting, the kind of moves you're expecting, when they look to be playing out, all that sort of stuff, and some entries and some exits on there. I've done a bit on the Nikkei, which has gone okay. That doesn't seem to move as cleanly as the others. When the Dow's moving, there's some good moves on the Dow as well, and the SPY. So the SPY is a bit choppy at the moment, and it's a lot of the action's done overnight, which we're not focused on. It's focused on the day's action, and that's not really kicking off as much as what I would want, what I would expect. And you can see here, it's done next to nothing at the moment, so that market can just go bang straight down, and then you wait for your first pullback, you just don't get it. The only time it pulls back, it's when it's contracting back up again. So it's a tougher one to trade on the SPY. So that's why the focus has been a lot on the Hang Seng and the moves on the Hang Seng, because when you get it right, you can get it right pretty well. Yeah, that's about it. Enjoy your day, guys. We're back in tomorrow. It'd be great if you can leave us a like on the YouTube channel, and then we'll be back into 9:40 again tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Speak soon. Bye.